Hello gamers and welcome to Gamer Life. On today's episode I'm going to be doing a review of Kemet. Kemet is a light war game that plays between 2 to 5 players and takes about 1 to 2 hours based on the number of players. So let's take a look and I'll tell you what I think. So here's the main game board for Kemet. The game board is double-sided. This side here is for 2 to 4 players, sorry, 2 or 4 players, while this side here is the board for 3 or 5 players. With the 2 to 3 players board, you will be playing with half the board, not the whole board. Also on the 5-player one, this spot here is the only spot that's unique about the 5-player game. I'll talk about this later. So the object of Kemet is to get 8 victory points. You get 8 victory points by winning battles, upgrading your pyramid, and holding these certain spots here on the book and here on the game board. On a player's turn, players will have 5 actions. Players have this tableau or player board here that keeps track of their money on top here. They have a special, use this special icon here for this piece here to keep track of the money. And then you have these little discs here to keep track of the 5 actions. So on player's turn, players will be going around in turn order and taking 1 action at a time until all players have done all their 5 actions. You use this to mark what actions you've taken on the round. Now if you look closely, it's pretty much a pyramid design. So a player must have played at least 1 action in each level of the pyramid before their turn is over. So the actions players take are is move units, muster units, get $2, raise their pyramid, or purchase a certain level based on the level of the pyramid. Sorry, a certain power. You have the blue power, which is defense, red power, which is attack, and white power, which is about money. Yes, I said white power. So when it comes to moving, players will move their force from one spot to another spot. They can use these obelisks here from their starting pyramid, from the starting barracks. Here they can teleport from here to the obelisk, but they cannot teleport back unless they have a special power that lets them do that. And once they teleport, they can still move. Teleport costs $2, and they can teleport as much units as they want, but each area can contain no more than 5 units. When it comes to upgrading your pyramid, you have 3 different colors. You have the red, the white, and the blue. You can upgrade a pyramid as many levels as you want, but you have to upgrade just that one pyramid per action. You can't upgrade several pyramids with 1 action. Once you get a pyramid to the 4th level, level 4, you get a victory point. Some other actions players can do is they can, when it comes to mustering units, they can muster 1 unit per $1. They place each unit that inside their city. They can get $2, and then they can purchase one of the 3 powers. So let me talk quickly about combat. How combat works is once a player goes into another spot with another player, they immediately fight. They count up the strengths of the units they have there. So for example, if red was attacked black, red had a total of 4, black had a total of 2. Players will then play their combat cards, and that's one unique thing about this game is players have a hand of cards, and that's how combat is determined. Players will take a card, play it face down, they'll turn it face up, and then they will determine who has a higher attack, take casualties, and see who's the winner of the battle. So let's take a look at these cards real quick. On a card there is its attack strength, which is that number right there. That blood drop symbol is how many casualties it caused, and that shield symbol is how many casualties it prevents. So for example, if I had played this 2 here, and my opponent had played this 1 here, in the same example here, they have a total of 3 attack. I would have a total of 5 attack. I'm sorry, 6 attack. They would cost 3 damage to me, and I will cost 2 damage back. But I have a shield that absorbs 1, so we both lose 2 units, and since I had 1, I had the option to go inside there or stay where I'm at, and I would receive 1 victory point because I won as the attacker. Now if there was any units left inside the area, the loser must vacate the area. And it can happen in which the winner is completely wiped out, but in that situation they do not receive a victory point. And it could be certain situations which the entire attacker is wiped out, and the defending army still hasn't lost one figure, but they still lost, so they still must move away. They can move away to a empty adjacent spot, or they can go back into their supply, the player's supply, and they would receive $1 per unit sent back this way. And the attacking player, or the winning player, also has the same option to teleport back into their supply and get $1 for each unit teleported back this way. Another unique thing about this game is these little cards here. These little cards are given out once a turn, and they have variable different powers based on the cards. Some cards are used during combat, so for example, when you was to play your combat card, you can also play this at the same time. You can play as many smaller cards as you want. So when you flip over cards, you would show that you have not only this card, but this card here also, which adds +1 to my combat strength. And there are other very different cards. Some cards require a dollar to play them. Certain cards do different things at different times of the day. Like for example, this one cancels out another card played by your opponent. So they all have varying different effects on those cards. Now what's really cool about this game is all the unique powers you have. You have the attacking power, the defensive power, and the upgrade power, money powers. They all provide different things. Like for example, this one here. This one provides, during a fight, this one provides 1 attack if you're defending. And then they're also in the blue power, there's also ones that let you gain a victory point while defending. And my favorite part about this game is the special units, like these guys here. Here's a special unit, or they call monsters in this game. I don't know if you can see the detail on this thing. It's beautiful. Look at that. If you look closely, you see a little guy riding him. Really cool. And these guys cost a lot to get because you have to level up your pyramid to level 4, and it costs $4 to pick up. It gives you $2. It gives you +1 movement for that army. They have to be attached to an army. They cannot survive on their own. And he gives you +2 blood drops to damage. I thoroughly love Kemet. It's one of my favorite war games, and it's probably one of my favorite board games of all time. It's definitely in the top 20. Now, one thing I do not like about Kemet is the diceless combat. Coming from a wargaming background, constantly rolling dice to determine combat is something that is almost second nature to me, and having to switch to these cards is a little bothersome. Now, another game that uses cards for combat is Game of Thrones board game, which I do not like, primarily because of these cards. But in this game, I don't mind it so much. I wish they were dice, but it works for this game. Also, one thing that is slightly annoying for first-time players is there's a lot of power tiles. There's something like over 30 power tiles players have to constantly reference back and forth. It helps if you make a second or even a third reference sheet for all the power tiles and all the smaller cards that you have to constantly reference through to see what they do. After 2 or 3 games, they become fairly simplistic, and you just look at them at a glance and you know what they do. But for first-time players, it's very frustrating for them because it's a lot of stuff to take in at once. Some players recommend that you don't play with the power tiles to start with. It's part of the game, so I always play with it. And every game is the same. In the first turn, people are scrambling to buy their power tiles to see which one they want. If they want to go primarily offense, primarily defense, or trying to make a money engine to win that way. And that's what I love about the game is you have to go out there and you have to attack. Sitting there will do nothing for you. Yeah, if you could try to get the one power that lets you win as a defender, maybe that might help a little bit, but you have to go out there and you have to earn that victory. But it is a very, it can be slightly slow at times because players sometimes might sit there and do nothing on their turn, especially if you don't have any money. They're going to sit there and kind of turtle a little bit, even though it's hard to do in this game because every spot in this game is no more than 3 spaces away. You can get to every spot on the board in about 3 movements, especially since you can move from your home space to those obelisks. Makes the whole board accessible for every player. So it doesn't matter where your starting city is, everybody can get to you. So I truly enjoy this game. I recommend this game for anybody who's looking for a good multiplayer war game. So that's my review of Kemet. Thanks for watching, and remember, I believe there is a game for everyone. Thank you.